Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, this is my co-host Teddy, and today I got a good video for you guys. We're going to be doing unboxing and overview of this Asus Radeon R9 390X, and this is the DirectCu2 model. So this should be quite interesting. The 300 series has kind of come out to a bit of a mixed reception, I would say. So this is quite interesting. Now, before we start this video, it does need to be said that the 390X now, this isn't going to be the top AMD card, as the Fury series of cards will be coming out soon too, and they will be the top cards. So this guy is still going to be a high-end, video card, but it's not going to be the highest end as far as AMD goes. So let's crack this guy open and get into this video. Now let's start out by talking about the GPU this guy has in it. So as you might be aware, this is a rebrand. Well, it's kind of like a refinement, I should say. A rebrand and a refinement of the 290X. So you're still getting the same TSMC 28nm Hawaii chip, but now it's called the, the Grenada GPU and their GCN 1.1 architecture. Oh, so get this guy up here. Very nice. So same GPU, and that means that you're getting the same 2816 shader processors, the same as 290X, same 176 texture units, and the same 64 ROPs as the 290X and the 290 had, and the same 6.2 billion transistors. So there's a lot of the same with this GPU. So it's a few subtle changes under the hood really with it, which we will talk about soon. However, let's carry on with this unboxing then. We see it's the standard packaging that we've seen before. I really don't have much idea about this card. Well, not the card. I'm sorry, Teddy. About this cooler on this card. Let me have a look. Oh, okay. That looks pretty similar. So I haven't seen many reviews about it. What did I just drop? Okay, nothing. So let's get into the accessories first, as we have stuff going everywhere. Oh, what's with these hard accessory boxes that open lately? It's like every unboxing I do, they're like frickin' impossible. There we go. So stiff. Okay, so what do we get? I don't remember when we did this with the 290X what it came with, but it's probably more of the same. And yeah, it's nothing. So, okay, you get GPU Tweak 2 now, which I suppose is quite good. Graphics card. Okay, so that's just the manual. And you get a 6-pin and an 8-pin power connect. So all pretty standard here. Nothing to write home about. Let's get into that GPU then. Now I remember, and I'm pretty sure it was the 290X Asus DirectCu2, but it had, you could change these color, the red on them. They came with like stickers instead, and you could change that to yellow or other colors. I think it was this, I can't remember. Anyway, now clock speeds have been changed slightly. Let's get this guy out here. Oh, very nice. Now if you remember back, I had a lot of issues with this cooler last time when we did it with the 290 and 290X, because it didn't cool very well because they took this cooler straight off the, at the time it was the 780 Ti I believe, and put it on the 290X, so it didn't really go too well because the actual die of the Hawaii or Grenada GPU is quite a bit larger. I believe. I'm trying to think back. It was such a while ago. I mean, remember these chips came out in 2013. So yeah. Boost clocks have been moved up a little bit. So you're getting 1050. This one's a stock clock, by the way, even though it's a non-reference cooler. I don't know if they're coming out with reference 390Xs. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah. But this one's running at a stock clock. So 1050 megahertz on the GPU core. And then the big jump up is in the memory, and that's opposed to the 1000 MHz, so just a 50 MHz jump up on that GPU core. Now memory wise, that's the, the nice backplate like usual. That's where the big jump up is going to be happening. So instead of the 4 GB that you get on a 290X, you are now getting 8 GB, which is a nice jump up there, so double the memory. But the speed is the big point. So you're getting 8GB GDDR5 on a 512-bit memory bus, so that's pretty similar. However, you're getting that at 6,000 megahertz as opposed to 5,000 megahertz. So that's 20% higher memory bandwidth, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, so that's going to honk along. That's a pretty significant upgrade. And also here, this has been achieved by them using 4GB chips rather than 2GB memory chips, which give the 4GB ones give better timings. So that's what I've heard too. Now with the GPU itself, they've also refined it further, and I've heard the TDP is now 275 watts, which is better, yeah, through refining the voltages of the Hawaii chips, which is better than the 290X, which was 300 watts if I remember rightly. So that's quite good. Basically all that means is it shouldn't get as hot as the 290X. Now let's talk about the cooler, since we've talked about this refined Hawaii GPU so much. So this looks pretty standard from what I saw before with the DirectCu2. You see they got the 10mm big heat pipe out the top here, so definitely heat pipe wise is very big, and then there's some 8mm ones down here, I believe 6 and 8mm heat pipes. Fan wise, they have their standard fan at the back here, and then up front is their Cooltech hybrid fan that they've kind of done away with on the Nvidia side of cars now, so it's interesting they brought it back for the AMD ones. Anyways, this is a kind of like a hybrid fan, so it works as a blower style fan, having to blow some of the hot air out the back of the case, but also forcing some of it through the heatsink like normal. So that's quite cool. As I said before, it has a nice back plate, and this, if they've done it right this time, this should provide some very serious cooling, because I mean, everyone thinks I have a problem with these DirectCu2 coolers. I don't. On the Nvidia side of things, they do an excellent job. However, just when they've transferred it over to AMD with the 290X and 290, it just didn't go so well. So hopefully they've sorted it out this time. Power connector wise, we're just seeing single 6-pin, single 8-pin, so that's quite nice. I can't remember if that's different from the 290X one, which might have had 2 8-pins, but I can't recall. Only some of the 290, 290Xs I remember had dual 8-pins. I think the standard was a 6-pin and 8-pin. As normal, you know, with the other 290X, there's no SLI fingers up here. It's all done through the PCI. And iOS. Oh, let's have a look-see here. Okay. So I'm expecting much of the same, and of course it is. So this is going to be the same as the 290X, and oh my goodness, these covers are next level stuck on. What is with everybody doing everything up so tight? Okay. What's that, Teddy? They should make it looser. I agree. I'm not kidding. This is so stuck on. I almost need a knife to get this propped up. There we go. Whoa. Alright. We got there in the end, guys. So, we got DisplayPort, HDMI port, DVI-I, and DVI-D. So, it's just standard on I/O. What we're come to expect with all of the 290X and 290s were done. So that's pretty standard. I mean, I don't really have a big problem with this. I think it's still pretty fine. There's plenty of people that still like using DVI out there. Personally, I'm more, I'll either use HDMI or DisplayPort, depending on whatever display I'm using. The majority of the time I recommend to people just use DisplayPort, because that's usually the best for everything. So, as far as what I've seen so far, this should do about, you know, like 10% better than the 290X in terms of performance. So that should be quite good. That's probably mainly due to the memory. So I don't think the 8GB is really going to add too much there. Maybe at the higher resolutions people will be needing it, but for the most part, for the majority of gamers out there, they probably weren't really hitting the 4GB cap anyway. So I don't think that's the biggest improvement. I think it's more the memory speed. That's where the big jump up is. You know, taking it from 5,000 MHz to 6,000 MHz, that's a significant jump up. That really is a big jump up. So I think that's going to help a lot. And especially when we see overclock models coming out, then from the factory, they might be going quite a bit higher than that. That's going to make a very, very big difference. So I think that's quite good. Now, pricing wise, this should be coming in at quite a good price point, well, I think. So in New Zealand, it's going to be coming in at between the 970 and the 980. Now this is always going to change, especially now that these cards are coming out. Nvidia might shift around their pricing a bit, and it might all change in the near future. But for right now, the 390X is sitting between the 980 and the 970. So I'm obviously going to guess that this will do quite a bit better than the 970. Remember that when I tested the 290X against the 970, the 290X won, but it was only a slight victory. They were like pretty on even footing. You know, the 290X only slightly nudged it out. So if this 390X does significantly better than the 970, then that should be quite good for where its price point is. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes against the 980 as well. But that's what's going to be the showdown. So we're going to put this 390X from Asus, the DirectCu2 model, up against the Asus Strix GTX 970 to see which one comes out on top. And as you've just heard, you probably know what I think is going to win, but I think that one will be quite interesting and a good comparison compared to what we did previously with the 290X and the 970. Now I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown so you catch that showdown as soon as it comes out, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.